Interestingly, this morning I was listening to a mentor that I've worked with at different times in the past, and I was listening to a video that she has put out there, and I was just like, wow, I just have such a different understanding of that, of what she's saying now. Whereas I know that I've watched that video before, like a couple of years ago, maybe 3, 4 years ago, and I just remember thinking at the time, like now, how different I perceive that versus back then. And there is absolutely no problem with the way I perceived it back then. It was exactly what I needed to receive. It was at exactly the level of beliefs and certainty and the level that I was meant to be at in my life. Like where I was perfect. Where I was totally enough and always enough. And the changes come. So where I am today, and this is not a bit like I'm better than or anything. It's just a totally different. It's like, I suppose it's like when you start moving your body in any type of form, and you start a new sport, or you start, I don't know, yoga or Pilates or surfing or whatever it might be, and you start something and your muscles are sore, and then over time you can do the same thing and your muscles don't get sore. And it's not because, like, you could perceive that as being better, but you just realize it's a habit for you. It's just fluent for you. It's something that you've committed to regularly and possibly daily with some things. And it becomes fluent. Like, that's the only thing I can really say about it. It's, well, there's lots of things I can say about it, but just to remind ourselves, it just becomes really fluent. It's, we have that muscle memory. And as we have that muscle memory, we are able to step into more. We are able to maybe, I don't know, put a little bit more weight on, or we're able to run a little bit faster, or we're able to, I don't know, surf for a bit longer, or do yoga or Pilates for a bit longer, or do some more advanced sort of um, like exercises. And I know you understand what I'm saying here. I don't need to go into the intricacies of it, but I want to remind you this is a little bit like this. So it's not that you're better, it's just that it's a habit. It's something that becomes almost natural to you. And it doesn't become natural to you, like as in any of this work or any of your life or anything at all. It doesn't become natural to you because you have hoped and prayed and you've consumed all the things, and then you've consumed all the things but done nothing, and you're sort of expecting things to turn in. It changes for you because you are in the practice of it. And in the practice of it, like related to sport or anything like that too, it's the same with the mindset work. It's the same with the habits work that we do with ourselves. It's the same with the beliefs work. It's collectively across the world, right? In any aspect that we want to, I don't know, take on in our lives, at some point in time, it's really clunky and it feels very foreign and it feels very just new. And am I doing this right? And it's just always coming back to, this is totally enough. This is totally enough. And the story that starts to say, hey, I'm not enough right now, or I'm not doing it properly, or blah blah blah, it can take you off that. Like, people stop doing things because they feel like they're not good enough in that moment, and all they're doing is giving themselves a hard time about how far they've got to go, as opposed to just being where they are. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm showing up for this, and things will become easier. Like, my life will become more fluent. Thought someone was coming in then. Like, my life in whatever aspect that is will become more fluent. And right now, where I am, I'm just so grateful that I'm showing up. I'm just so grateful that I'm doing this. I'm so grateful that I am giving it my all right now, which, what else could you do? You can't give more than your all exactly in this moment now. It's sort of crazy to think otherwise. But we take ourselves out of that. And that's where the worthy stories come in. And that's, I've got so many mozzies in here. That's where the worthy stories coming in, and the deservance, and, you know, or I don't deserve, and those little things, they can be really subliminal too. Sometimes they can be right in your face, but it's reminding ourselves we put that aside, and we really do need to put that aside. And, you know, and I'm not saying ignore it, I'm not saying numb it, I'm saying simply acknowledge it, realize it's kept you, it's served a purpose for a period of time, but you know different now. And it's just like, oh yeah, I can observe that. I notice that. Yes, it might feel uncomfortable. Yes, I'm sick of it. Or yes, I don't know how to get through it. And you just simply connect in. What is my vision? Like, what would I, if I was on the other side of that, what would I be feeling? What would I be thinking? And, you know, all